Okay, so for this deep dive, we're jumping right into the book of Proverbs, specifically chapter 18.
Mm-hmm. It's a really rich chapter.
It is packed with insights on wisdom, communication, how we sort of deal with the world and each other.
Yeah, and our goal here is really to pull out some, practical wisdom, stuff you can actually use.
Exactly. Nuggets for daily life. And it kicks off immediately with the power of words, which is fascinating.
Right. It uses this image of words being like deep waters. There's a lot under the surface.
But then it also says the fountain of wisdom is like a bubbling brook, something flowing, life-giving.
It's a great contrast. And the chapter quickly gets into the misuse of words, particularly with, well, the fool.
Ah, yes. It says a fool finds no pleasure in understanding, but delights in airing his own opinions.
That phrase, delights in airing his own opinions. It's not about having opinions, right? It's about the motive, just wanting to broadcast them.
Yeah, rather than genuinely understanding things. And the consequences. They're laid out pretty starkly.
Oh, definitely. A fool's lips bring him strife, and his mouth invites a beating. Pretty direct.
It is. And it goes on. His mouth is his undoing. His lips are a snare. So the words trap the speaker too.
Mm-hmm. It's self-destructive.
And then there's that bit about gossip. That one always stands out.
The choice morsels. Yeah.
Calls them choice morsels that go down to a man's in most parts. Why choice? Because they seem appealing.
I think so. They're tempting, easy to swallow, maybe even feel good for a moment. But the point is, they lodge deep inside, they affect your core.
Right. Which really makes you think, how often are we drawn to that?
Yeah.
How is it actually affecting us?
It leads to that really profound statement,
The
Lynn.
big one. The tongue has the power of life and death.
Exactly. It elevates the whole discussion. It's not just about social awkwardness or arguments.
No, it's fundamental. Your
Yeah.
words can build up, bring life, or they can literally tear down and destroy.
Yeah.
It's wow.
It gives immense weight to everyday conversations, doesn't it?
It really does. And connected to that, there's the simpler point about listening.
Uh-huh. He who answers before listening, that is his folly and his shame.
So simple, but so hard sometimes. Jumping in before someone's finished, forming your reply while they're still talking.
That's labeled folly. Straight up. It's a matter of respect and wisdom.
Okay, so moving from just words, the chapter also links this to character in our relationships.
Yeah, they're all tied together. It warns against being partial to the wicked or denying justice, basic integrity.
Your character shows in how you act, especially when you have some influence.
And it looks inward, too. The spirit of a person.
Right. A man's spirit sustains him in sickness, but a crushed spirit who can bear.
That hits hard. Your inner resilience is key. It's tough to navigate anything if your spirit is broken.
And that internal state spills into relationships naturally. It mentions the unfriendly man who isolates himself.
Driven by his own desires, yeah. And it contrasts having, tons of casual companions who might lead to ruin.
With finding that one true friend who sticks closer than a brother. Quality over quantity.
It forces you to ask, what kind of connections are you building? Are they deep, loyal, or just many?
And even good relationships are fragile. That imagery is powerful.
Oh, yeah. An offended brother is more unyielding than a fortified city.
And disputes are like barred gates. Once that deep break happens, reconciliation can feel almost impossible.
It's a sobering reminder about the impact of our actions and words on those closest to us.
So with all this fragility, where do people put their trust? The chapter draws another contrast here.
It does. For the righteous, the name of the Lord is a strong tower, a place of real safety.
But for the rich, the wealth of the rich is their fortified city. They rely on that for security.
Believing it's impenetrable. So the question for you listening is, what's your strong tower? What do you rely on when things get tough?
Good question. And it connects pride with downfall, too. Before his downfall, a man's heart is proud.
But humility comes before honor, a recurring theme.
And then there's diligence versus laziness. One who is slacks in his work is brother to one who destroys.
Wow, brother to one who destroys. That frames carelessness not just as inefficiency, but as actively destructive.
It's about valuing effort and focus. Finally, how do we get wisdom?
It says, the heart of the discerning acquires knowledge, the ears of the wise seek it out.
So it's active.
Yeah.
You seek it, you listen for it. It doesn't just happen.
Right. Requires intentionality.
Looking back, chapter 18 really covers a lot. Speech, character, relationships, where we find security.
It's incredibly practical.
It is. So thinking about that power of the tongue, life and death, here's something to chew on. Chapter also says, from the fruit of his mouth a man's stomach is filled. The harvest from his lips, he is satisfied.
Mm-hmm. Fruit and harvest from your words.
So the question for you is, what kind of fruit are your words producing? Is it life-giving, satisfying?
Mm.
Or is it something else? What harvest are you creating today?